Right, champs, I get asked this question all the time. Bro, can you make a detailed video about how you close in the DMs? Well, after closing over $50,000 in new business over the past few weeks with no sales calls, yes, bro, I can, bro. Because if you're anything like me, you're probably sick and tired of spending all day stuck on Zoom calls with strangers until your eyes feel like they're bleeding out, right? So I made a new rule for my business this year in 2024. I'm not getting on any calls unless someone has paid me money. And the good news is in 2025, you don't need to be doing sales calls for your high ticket creator business either. But if it was as simple as, okay, I'm just not gonna do any sales calls anymore, they wouldn't exist. And they very much do exist. So the question of, Tom, how do you close in the DMs, isn't what you nerds should be asking me. You should be asking me, Tom, what the fuck have you done to earn the privilege of closing in the DMs? And that, my champs, is exactly what we're covering in today's video. So welcome to the final video of a 6-part mini-series where I'm sharing with you the lessons that I've learned from building my business from zero to over 50K in a month over the past 12 months without complex funnels, without any cold outreach, and without sales calls. Now, if you haven't seen parts 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 yet, and you're wondering, who the fuck is this disgustingly handsome and devilishly peak-witted young British icon? Make sure to go watch those videos first. You can check them out here. But if you're up to speed on how we do things differently around here, and you're ready to get intellectually swole today, then you better hold on. Let's dive in. Bro, can you make a detailed video on DM closing? Like I said, I can, bro, because that's what I do. So here's the disclaimer here. You should consider doing at least 100 sales or enrollment calls, at least closing 20 times for a new offer to understand deeply the language your perfect future clients use to describe their pain, their problems, and their desires. This is how you craft magnetic messaging in your content, which gives you the leverage to close in the DMs. That is the key here. In our world, we have 3 main areas. So we have, number 1, we have content. This is how we get attention on the stuff that we do. We then start conversations with those people who are engaging with us within our world. And then we use conversion mechanisms, which we're going to talk about today, to bring on new clients. So if you want to close in the DMs, I have one question for you. How many deposits have you made in your Goodwill bank account? And a reminder is your Goodwill bank account is a reciprocity bank account. This is where you give away so much valuable information that your audience feels like they owe you one. That is the law of reciprocity. Just like these guys, Hormozi, Gaji, Ali Abdal, and little micro Dan, what they've done. And this is the difference between funnels and flywheels. So in funnels, we're looking at sales-based conversion. We need lots of lead volume. And in flywheels, which is what all of these guys use, they use marketing-based conversions where they just focus on lead efficiency and warming people up over time. And that is why you can build up enough leverage so that you don't have to do sales calls if you don't want to. So here's how we do this in the client lifecycle. So first up, we have the big idea, which is what we use to attract leads into our world. We then use a behind the curtains offers, which we talked about in our previous video, to get trust transactions so people can get a peek behind the curtains. That's what BTC stands for. So they can see how you actually help clients. They can literally be like, oh, this is how Tom helps clients. Kind of sick, actually. It is sick, by the way. And that builds enough trust where they're like, okay, now I trust paying this guy thousands of dollars. So that is what we do to then get people into our one simple offer, to make case studies, which are the most valuable thing in our world, that we push back to the marketplace as a sales asset, which we talked about last time. Okay, so this is the key, as we spoke about. Be there when it's now. That is the main difference between funnels and flywheels. In funnels, we're asking people to take immediate action right now. And in flywheels, we don't care. We are just going to be there when the time is now. And what we're going to do is we're going to ask questions and ask our audience at different times. I do it multiple times a week. Hey, is the time now? Your job is to just be there when it's now. Because remember, 50% of the people who are in your audience ain't ever going to buy from you. But the other 50%, it could take between like 2 days and 2 years for them to build up enough trust to want to work with you. So here's how I kind of really look at my audience and my follower base. I'm trying to highlight 5-star and 4-star prospects. This is someone who has the future potential to become a dream client and then into a case study. There are 5 areas that I look at here. So number 1 is willing to engage in dialogue. They need to actually be responsive. Like if they're not responsive, what are they? They're not going to be a good client, are they? They need to be friendly and cooperative. Are you a match? Is this a vibe check here? Does the vibe match? Yes or no? You'll know, you have to trust your judgment on this. Then they need to know what they want. Like, what are their goals? What are their aspirations? What is the dream outcome that they want? Can they articulate it? Can you help them articulate it? They need to know when they want it, and they need to want some help with this, okay? Really simple. So 3-star, 2-star, or 1-star prospects can respectfully piss off. And here's the difference between 5-star and 4-star prospects. Really simple. It is timing. So a 5-star prospect, the time is now. For a 4-star prospect, the time could be at any point. And we're just going to ask people, hey, is the time now? Do you want to start working together now? Okay. This is how we open chats. We have a number of different ways in which we can start conversations with people. So first is warm outbound. So this is looking at people with new followers, connections. This is people who are commenting on our content. This is people who are engaging in our content. For example, when I put polls up on my Instagram stories, those are people that I can open conversations with. Then we've got inbound DMs. So these are people who are expressing an interest and actually potentially want to work with you straight off the bat. This is from content calls to action. We've then got email replies. So again, if I send an email to my email list, I'm like, hey, do you want to work together? And then they're like, yeah, that's when I'll then start a conversation. We've then got, you can start conversations with people who have downloaded lead magnets. You can start conversations with people who are new in your community if they've joined like a free community like I've got. Really simple, guys. Anyone showing any interest in any of the shit you do is an opportunity to help them and open a conversation. So here's the key. When you're starting out, you have to hunt before you get the privilege of being handed your food. The hardest it's ever going to be to do business is in the first year of a new offer. So don't fucking change offers every year, okay? I see this all the time, people changing their offer completely every 5 months. I have friends who may see this video who, you know, if you've watched this, I've seen you over the last couple of years change your offers every few bloody months, okay? So the less trust you have compounded in the market, the more outreach you're gonna have to do at the start to start conversations. It's just, there's no way of avoiding that. Here are some examples of openers that I've used. Some of you may have received these. Yo, name, thanks for the follow. Yo, name, thanks for the forkle. Intentional spelling there. So this is some Yoda shit, by the way. So what I do is I do the intentional spelling mistake, and then if they don't respond, it gives me a reason to follow up the next day. Hey, name, thanks for the comment, and then full name. Everyone loves their name. That's everyone's favorite word, okay? So just send them their name with an exclamation mark. And this is the framework that I use to take people through in the DMs. So first up, I structure the conversations with this, the ACA framework, which I stole from Hormozy. First step is acknowledging what they've said. Second is making a compliment. And the third is asking. That has 2 twos there, but it goes acknowledge, compliment, ask. And you just go round and round in this framework. So this framework that I use, I don't use a script because I change things up because I'm a human. I have conversations with people. I have first is the connect phase where we are getting a response. We are then opening the conversation and then we're asking a this or that question. An example of a this or that question is, hey, are you here for the vibes or are you actually looking to grow your business? The reason you need a this or that question is you need to give people an out. You need to actually give people a way to just get out of the conversation and dip. So the example there, this or that question, are you here for the vibes or are you here to actually grow your business? If they say, yeah, I'm just here for the vibes, you can then just go, sick, tell me, which part of my content do you like the most so I can make more of it? And then guess what? They are going to be giving you their bottleneck. And that's when you move on to the discovery phase. Oh, hey, you really like the content that I make about making content and personal branding. Why is that? Are you trying to grow your personal brand? And what we then need to do is we need to build a gap. We need to build a gap of where they are to where they want to get to. And we want to stretch that gap out as much as possible. We're then going to see, what do they think they need? Or we're just going to ask them, hey, so what do you think you need to get to there? Then once they've said that, we're going to ask them if they want some help. Mad, right? Can you believe that? Would you like some help with that? It is that simple, guys. We like to overcomplicate this shit. Finally, we then get into the transition phase. This is where we're going to actually make magic. So we're going to suggest the next step. For me, it's an offer document for them to read the details of my offer. Then we're going to invite them to join us and enroll. We're going to confirm by getting them to pay us with a link. And then we're going to prepare them by telling them what the next steps are. Yes, I know, how simple is this? I know, why aren't you doing it? Because if it was that simple, everyone would do it, right? So the question is, are they a 5-star or a 4-star lead? For me, if they're a 5-star lead, they're going to get sent the offer document, which is this bad boy down here. And if they're a 4-star lead, they ain't seeing the offer document. They're getting sent to my hot list. And I'm going to follow up with them every 4 to 6 weeks. Here is how I prioritize my pipeline. Alec Baldwin came out with always A, B, B, C closing. Always be closing in an iconic film. And this is a key mindset shift that I have made, because I used to just open conversations and I would never close them. Like, as in I would never get closure. So this is the mindset that I need you to get on. It's getting closure on conversations every day. And so what closure looks like, it can just be a no. It can be like, hey, yeah, I'm not interested right now. That is what we want. We actually want to move on and get closure on conversations. Hunt the no. This is how we do it. So we go from hot to cold. So people who are customers, people who have paid you money, they're the hottest that we're gonna get closure with. Then there's people who have raised their hand. So this is people who have like inbound, people who are saying, yes, now's the right time. Then there is Instagram stories. People who are invested in you and in your story typically are gonna be like, yeah, I have a lot of trust built up here. So we go for Instagram stories. Then content engagers are a little bit colder. Then followers who have followed you for a while. And then new followers are the coldest of the bunch. That is how we prioritize our pipeline, and we get closure on 5 conversations every day. And that, guys, is how I close in the DM. So I've just given you, over the last 6 episodes, I've given you the model, the offer, the clients, content, conversion, and the enrollment systems that I use. Now, I've told you what you need to do, but you might have some questions off the back of it. So number 1, how do I transition from one-to-one to a scalable offer? How do I craft magnetic messaging to close perfect future clients in the DMs? How do I launch and grow my email community? How do I structure my delivery to get world-class results and transformations? How do I make killer long-form content which pre-sales prospects so I can drop sales calls from my diary? How do I structure my life so that I can do all this in less than a handful of hours per day? So you have a choice to make. You can choose to spend the next 5 years banging your head against the wall, trying to figure this shit out on your own. But the truth is, I could give you the entire game plan here in these videos, and you could try and implement it for your business. But what's gonna happen is you're gonna miss the stuff that really makes this model work, the nuance. The devil truly is in the detail. And that's why there's a second option, one that condenses 5 years into 5 months. And that option is investing in a guide or a mentor, having someone by your side who's already walked the walk to help you implement all of the systems you've seen in the past 6 videos. I wouldn't have been able to get to where I am without investing in multiple guides and mentors. And look, I truly don't give a fuck if you don't want to work with me. All I care about is you go get mentored by someone. But if you are interested in working with me, there are a few things that you should know. Firstly, I don't work with everyone. I'm looking to work with a very specific type of high-ticket creator. Guys like Nick, who's just cruised past 30K this past month after just 5 weeks of working together for his hair salon coaching business. Or Austin, who's just collected $19,000 in cash on his birthday last week and had a record month in his consulting business helping creators launch communities online. Or Steven, who only started his relationship coaching business just 6 months ago, and he just made $32,000 last month with an audience of less than 2,000. Or Bernard, who just broke past the 60K per month barrier with his personal training business. And yes, I do work with a bunch of awesome elite women too. Okay, so here's the deal. You must already be serving clients and have some banger case studies. You must have the intention to be one of the most elite operators in your niche. You must be self-motivated. I don't hold people's hands. If you're looking for that, you're looking for someone to save you. And there's only one person who can save you, and they look at you every single time you look in the mirror. And this one, it's critical. You've got to be able to handle me being direct. I have a no bullshit approach with my clients, and they love it, but snowflakes, they can't handle it. So if you're cool being average and you want your hand held and you're a beautiful little snowflake, I'm afraid this is the end of the line for us here, my friend. I'm just not your guy. So I'm gonna have to ask you to respectfully piss off. And look, finally, full transparency, I am not cheap. If you're not willing or in a position to make a significant investment and leap of faith into your future, then this isn't for you yet. But if you are ready to scale to your next 20K monthly goal, surround yourself with a crew of other elite entrepreneurs to push you out of your comfort zone, stop relying on outdated funnel methods, and do it all whilst having fun that fuels your dream life, check this video out here, which explains how it works, and then DM me the number 77 on Instagram so I can share the full details with you. Right, champs, that was sick, and I'll see you in the next one.